You know, he was so courageous because, you know, we would go out, John Brown, myself, and Ernie, and his nose would be bleeding. He'd just put some cotton up to cover it up and never complain about anything. And he knew, I guess, he was going to die real soon.
Ernie Davis lost his battle with leukemia on May 18th, 1963, at the age of 23.
I just couldn't believe when I heard that he had passed, because I guess we always thought that no matter whatever happened, he'd beat it. And I think if he was here today, he would beat it.
He was a great human being, a man that transcended everything, really. A lot of people loved him. He represented himself so well without ever being Uncle Tom or subservient. He's a mild-mannered individual, but he's very strong. Great athlete, a real fine student. A young man that I had a lot of respect for.
You know, Ernie Davis just will always be a Syracuse hero for so many reasons. He was such a great kid, such a great football player, and he died very bravely, and the way he handled that whole horrible situation, as guys like Art Modell would tell you, was remarkable.
It's been 40 years. You know, it's been 40 years, but I still think about Ernie. He impacted me enough that I named one of my sons Ernie. What makes it difficult is that he was a nice person. He was a great athlete. People loved him, and the only way I could justify that was that people are put here for a purpose, and once they accomplish their purpose, then it's time for them to leave. And his purpose was meeting people and getting people together and making this great achievement, and of course making it easier for other black athletes to come to Syracuse.
To me, I thought that he was God sent for some reason. And we always had the fear that he was too good to be here. When we were young, we'd always just say that. He's just too good to be here.
You know, I tell you something, Ernie's with me every day. Whenever I ride down the street, I think of Ernie every day of my life. Whenever I see 44, I say hi to Ernie. If I don't see 44, if I see a 7, a 3, and a 4, I take and subtract the 3 from the 7 and get 44. So I'm with Ernie all the time.
When they carried the casket outside to go to the cemetery, there were 10,000 people outside the church. And boy, if that doesn't tell you what kind of a kid he was, nothing will.
I saw Ernie, I think, 2 weeks before he passed. And we were walking down the street. And a little boy, and I guess you've heard this, a little boy come up to him and said, "You're Ernie Davis, you're going to die." And Ernie said, "Well, we all are going to die sometime. But I have lived a complete life, and I have done a lot of things that people my age will never do." He said, "I've helped so many folk along my way. Maybe it's time for me to go." I said, "Well, what did you do?" He said, "You won't know about it until I'm gone." I just realized what he was talking about. Imagine, all these years after his death, he's still doing good. People still writing stories about him. People still using him as a benchmark for character. And I don't think he could have obtained it if he lived. He couldn't have lived up to the standard. No way. And I think he knew that and understood that long before we did.